So 3/4 way through the pool phase of Rugby World Cup 2011, there are two clear favourites emerging. New Zealand the favourites, South Africa the #1 contenders. World Cups are about attrition. Injuries are a given. It's about who keeps their superstars on the field across 6 weeks, 7 games that usually win the tournament at the end of the day. Let's take a look at South Africa, who've named their side for the Samoa clash tomorrow. In my opinion, the best Springbok side we've seen, if not months, maybe years. So we've got Patrick Lambie at the back with Habana and Peterson on our 2 wings. In the centres, we have Frans Steyn with Jacques Fourie, and the Bulls pairing of Fourie du Preez with Morné Steyn at halfback. That's an outstanding backline. I'll give you 3 reasons why. Francois Steyn at 12 offers us fantastic distribution. He also breaks the gain line like Jean de Villiers probably hasn't of late. And so I think he's a better option there. He's a big guy. It also frees Lambie up to play 15. And with Lambie at the back, it gives us a second first receiver option, almost a running fly half relative to Morné Steyn's kicking fly half role. And so we've got 2 10s almost to play off. Now, there's a lot of talk about Habana losing his place to Hougaard, and you wonder whether it's better to start Hougaard or keep using him as the impact player that he's become. And he's a terrific impact player. I'll say this in Habana's defense. His work rate is unbelievable, and he might not be scoring the tries that he has, but in terms of defense, he really is fantastic. So over to the pack of forwards, the loose trio, Piers Spies, Skalkberger, Heinrich Brousseau picks itself. And I've been a detractor of Piers Spies over the months, but he's really playing his best rugby. In fact, in his last 4 starts, and I include the New Zealand game in PE, 2 of those have been probably his 2 best test matches. So he's coming on in leaps and bounds. Skalk is a warrior, and Heinrich Brousseau world class. Without Juan Smith, that's our best loose trio. At lock, we've got Victor Matfield, and with an injured Bucky's Buerta, we now have Dani Rousseau, which is a good thing. Rousseau's playing his best rugby. He's also holding the ball in contact, which was a challenge to him for a while, but he's doing that really well. He's getting great go forward, and with him at locks means we aren't tempted to play him at flank, and that's a good thing. And in the front row, we've selected Yanni du Plessis, Bismarck du Plessis, and Tendai Mtawarira, the Beast. And that's a great front row. I would probably change Guthrie Steenkamp for the Beast. Guthrie offers us great go forward, huge work rate, probably better at scrum time. But all in all, I'd say the best Springbok side we've selected, if not months, in years. So that takes us to the Springboks' biggest strength, our reserve bench. When you've got Captain John Smith for his cool head and leadership on the bench, and he's playing great rugby. For all the talk about Bismarck, is he better, is he worse, John Smith's playing some of the better rugby he's played in a while. And then the impact that Francois Hougaard, Guthrie Steenkamp, Jean de Villiers, and the wrecking ball Willem Alberts can have when they're given 30 minutes, 28 minutes on the field is fantastic. So that's a great bench. Then we've been very smart because Francois Lowe as a backup fetcher on the bench is a great decision. We need somebody to replace Heinrich Brousseau if he gets injured. We've also got Bismarck, who plays to the ball and is almost a third fetcher for us. And so we've got to balance that triumvirate quite well. And so what about the favourites, New Zealand? Well, it seems like the stars are aligning for New Zealand at this World Cup, just like they did for South Africa in 1995. They've had some tragedy in their country this year with the earthquake. Richie McCaw's become the first All Black to play 100 tests, and everything looks like it's peaking for a New Zealand World Cup win. If they don't, I believe we will. So looking at some of their players, they're very point dependent on McCaw and Carter, and they've got to be very sure that in this war of attrition that is a World Cup, they keep Daniel Carter and Richie McCaw very fit. Their third key player is probably Kieran Reid. He comes back from injury this weekend, and that's going to be a big one for them to watch. They'll be very keen to see him do well. Richard Kahui's got hurt though, and he's their form wing at the moment. And that brings me on to another wing stroke fullback of theirs, Israel Dagg. I think he might end up being player of the tournament if New Zealand win the tournament. He is outstanding, the youngster. Graham Henry unsure to play him or Mills Muliaina at the back. At the moment he's going with Dagg. Whether he ends up on the wing or at fullback, he's outstanding to watch. Next week I'm going to feature the sides on the other side of the draw. That's, let's call it the Northern Hemisphere side of the draw. We'll look at France, we'll look at England, but I'll do that from New Zealand because I'm there next week. That's all from me, Stephen Morris. This is Rugby Vibe, brought to you by Prongster. I'll see you next week from the land of the long white cloud.